Hello friends, Cheryl here with inkedpulp. We're back to have some more fun in a new video. I started doing some work and realized I didn't have my camera on, and so I probably should turn it on and record. So this is what I made already this morning. Look at that, isn't that just sweet? This is a rub-on. This card is a piece left over of the milk bone box that I used to make my traveling pants journal. And I just covered it, put a rub-on on, and then I have been taking some of the fabric from my pants and doing just some slow stitching on it, just little patterns. And here's one of them that I did, and I put down here at the bottom. The X's, I could have put this one on. This one, I've just been playing. No rhyme or reason, but I thought we would use some of those, and maybe today we can make some ephemera for the traveling pants journal. I used another piece of that pants fabric for the tab at the top and inked around it, and I think it turned out adorable. And so I thought, well, let's get out the unfinished projects box and see if there are some things in here we can finish up that we might be able to use. So I pulled out, I sorted out a few things. I'm just going to pull them out here because I know we won't get through all of these, but I pulled out a few things that I thought would be fun. And I want to keep this journal a little bit grungy. So I've got this as a pocket. This can be a little journaling card. This could be a pocket. A card, a card, a card, a card, a card. There's a pocket. I need some more on the back. This could be a tag. Like that. There's a tag. That's kind of grungy. Oh, I don't want that one. There's a tag and a tag and a tag. So these are all tags. This could be a journaling card. This is a pocket. And then this could be an envelope. So that's what I have to work with. Let's start with some of the tags, or excuse me, the pockets. I've only got 3 here. Now, I want this to be kind of grungy, so ooh, that goes really nice with the bicycle, the yellow and the bicycle. Look at that. So yeah, we could do that. What else do we need on there? Some splatters, maybe? Let's move these out of the way. Maybe some gold splatters? I love this Heidi Swapp Color Shine gold. It does splatters really, really well. I don't use it as a spray. In fact, I think the nozzle is all clogged. I don't even think it works. But I love the... There we go. I love the gold that it puts down, and I love the way it looks on the pages. Okay. Baby wipe here, and let's put a little bit of heat on that. I'll dry up that gold. Then we can put down this piece here and see if it needs anything else. It's not wanting to dry up real fast, but that's all right. Give my heat gun a workout. There we go. All right, let's put this down here, and then we'll have the bicycle over here. And I want to see if, do I need a little bit of lace in there, a little bit of grungy lace. I don't know, but we won't know until we try. Okay, I'm going to move this mouse out of the way so it doesn't so it doesn't turn off the video on me. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? I don't think it needs to be quite that big. And I do think if we're going to make this a grungy journal, we could definitely grunge it up a little bit here. Now, I'm also wondering if instead of just the lace, what if we put down a little bit of old book page to really... All right, so here's this. Here's this. Actually, I kind of pull that off to the side like that. Yeah, I don't know that we need any book page. I might put a sentiment up here, but let's glue these down. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time hemming and hawing. I just want to, because I find, you guys tell me if you find the same thing. I find that my first instinct is probably the best one. So if I like something, why keep looking for something else? If I like it, go with it. I'm just taking some of these edges and gluing them down so they don't stick up quite so bad. And there we go. Now, I don't use knots on the back of my slow stitching. I use tape to tape down the ends because I don't want a lot of bumps on the other side. If I make knots, then it's going to show up on the front side, whereas if I tape it down, I don't get those bumps. Oh, my pocket's coming apart here. That was probably from the heat gun that I just used because the whole thing is coming off. And it's probably I heated the glue and the glue came undone because I had the heat gun on it. That's okay. I made this piece, gosh, probably 2-3 years ago. I've just had this sitting in my box, my to be finished pile. And I'm wondering if we want to put that there. Nope, that's too much, but let's see if we have a little word that can go up there. I love this slow stitch, these pieces, and I plan to sit and make a whole bunch more of them. So if you have leftover, like I have all this fabric from the adventure on the bicycle. Nope, that's too big. If you have extra fabric, just cut it up and let's do this. Cut it up and then just slow stitch on little pieces of it, and then you can add that. I was going to do a video on it, but it's not real fun to just watch somebody slow stitch, and I didn't know if I'd even be able to keep y'all's attention if I did that. And then we can the thing I'm hesitating about is that it's leaving this square wheel. I think I'll just ink this up and not put the lace on there, because then it's kind of a broken shape. If I put that lace up there, it kind of squares up the wheel image, and I don't want that all squared up. I want it to look more random. Yep, I like that better. All right. So that can be a dream. We could put this coming off the edge at the bottom of the pocket. Now, I do like that. What do you guys think about that? I've never done anything like that before. Let's put that on there like that. There. Put this down with a little more glue. There, how about that? I like that a lot. I like that with just this little bit of lace hanging out. Because if we put that on a page, find my journal here. If we put this, my journal's still stiff. The spine is still stiff. I gotta work it out. But if we put that on a page, look how cute that is. Actually, not that page. Let's put it on this page. Look at that with that little bit of lace hanging out. I like it a lot. All right, there's the second piece done. And yes, I need to flex this thing and get it a little looser. It's still pretty tight. All right. So there's two pieces. let's put this here, and I think we're doing well on the grungy part. Okay, this one, I want to take some rusty hinge and I want to put a little rusty hinge on here, and then I also want to put a little brown. There we go. And let's do this one the same way since I've got this out. Okay. And let's dry that up. So we want to dry this in between colors so that the colors don't blend together too much. If I just put wet on wet, they'll just make a muddy mess. Come on. So there we go. So there we go. We've got the rusty hinge. And then let's do I don't necessarily want to do vintage photo. Now see here again, we're coming up a little bit, and it's because I'm putting the heat gun on there and it's melting the glue, which is fine. So it's coming up a little bit. So you may, after you use your heat gun, you may have to go back and, glue down some pieces, but that's all right. All right, let's do, and let me do it a little bit different. Let me, I have this brand new block I've not used before, so we might as well use it. Let's put some vintage, or no, this is frayed burlap. Kind of gotta hang on a second. Let me look at the Distress ink. Yep, it is frayed burlap because it looks a little bit green. Oops. All right. This is not what I wanted. I wanted something a little darker brown. So we'll use this and then we'll put some other color on here. All right. That's not what I want. It really looks very green to me. Maybe it's supposed to look that way. What if we use some scorched timber? Looking at what other colors I have up here. Hang on one second. Oh, walnut stain. Let's use walnut stain. Scorched timber is awful dark. The other thing I need to do, if you guys are using like a water bottle to mist these up, and actually I don't even like it on the block, to be honest with you. It doesn't pick up enough ink. I saw someone else doing that this morning, so on a video, so I thought, well, I better try it. Okay. Now I'm going to dry this just a little bit. All right. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's looking a lot more grungy. I kept wanting to say shabby, and it's not shabby at all. It's grungy. We're doing the grungy bit here. Okay. There we go. There we go. Man, I've been making a video every day, and I have been having so much fun with it. Oh my gosh. And if you haven't seen yet my Journal of the Traveling Pants, and it's a take on the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. I kind of did a little takeoff on that. But basically, I had my favorite all-time pants that I absolutely loved, wore them out, wore them till they holes in them. My husband hated that I wore those things around with holes in them. And then I lost a whole bunch of weight, and so they just basically fell off of me when I tried to wear them. And so I finally realized that I needed to give them up. And I just couldn't throw them away. I've had them in my closet forever. And I decided I would make a journal out of them. And so if you haven't seen those videos yet, I have 2 videos where I actually made the book, and then I covered and made the signatures. And this is the book. Now I have a pocket that's going to go on the front here. I don't think I have it in here. I have a pocket that's going to go on the front here. But these are the pants. This is the hem of the pants. And then I had a seam up the side that I kept in there. And then I covered it with more of that fabric in the middle. And then I just put some grungy copy dye fabric in here. And I really need to bend these so they bend open better. But anyway, then I made my signatures and sewed them in. And so now I'm to the point where I need to make ephemera for it and then start decorating. This is not going to be a writing journal because I'm not a big writer. It's just not my thing. But I have a shelf in my bedroom, and I mentioned this before. It's from IKEA. It's a metal, multi-tiered, multi-level shelf. And I've got it all set up with lots of fun little, trinkets, things from my past that are kind of my favorite things. And I want to put this journal on that very top shelf once it's done. So even though it's got a lot of signatures and it's got a lot of pages in it, and I may add to it as time goes on, but I don't plan to, do a whole lot of additions to it. I'm not going to write in it, that's for sure. All right, those are my 2 finished pieces. Let's see what else I have here. I had some fringe. Where did that go? I had some fringe that came off. This was a napkin, cloth napkin that I copy dyed first, and then I tore it. And got this fringe that I might want to put on there. Let's see if I cut it down. This is real thin. I don't know if it's going to tear real well. So let's just cut it off and see how that little napkin fringe works. So this video will be titled, making ephemera for the Traveling Pants Journal, using unfinished projects. And let's see, we just need to get these to settle down out here a little bit. And I can kind of glue those down a bit, but let's see what this looks like. It's actually not bad. That's not bad. A little fringe there. Let's do it just because we can. I want to try some different things in this journal. I don't want to do just the same old that I always do. I want it to have some unique things in it, and I've got a few things in mind. But first of all, we'll just look at decorating. There we go. Yeah. And then if those don't stay down like they should, I can glue them down a little bit. But yeah, I want to try some things that I haven't really done before. And then I've got some thread, and I don't know if I have it here or not. Let's see. Nope. I have it here. It's put away somewhere. I'm going to have to find it. But let's look at this. It's not real grungy, but I kind of like it. The other option I have is taking a piece of some much thicker twine. I have no clue where it is. So let's look at this. I could take a piece of twine. I actually like that better. I like that better because the other one just looked too perfect. Too perfect for grunge. So let's put this twine down here. May have to clip it to get it to stay until it dries. But I like that. I like that a lot. All very grungy and rustic looking, and it's the style that I'm going for in this Traveling Pants Journal. There we go. All right, so now we need a focal point on it. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Let's go around the edge and ink it up. Nope. I need to go put some more glue in those. Again, when you put the heat gun on them, the glue tends to melt. So just be aware of that. If you glued layers together and then you put splatters or something on it, if you don't let them air dry, if you heat dry them, your layers that were glued together are very likely to come apart. Not completely, but you'll have to do a little repair work on them. All right, let's see. What do we want to put on there? What do we want to put on there? Let me look. I just got some stickers from my favorite sticker person. Got an order. Ooh, these are washi stickers. I don't know if this one's going to be too big or not. Let's look at it and see. Might be a little bit big. Let's see, what else do I have? Ooh, how about this one? Or how about this one? This one's got some of the same colors in it. I don't like that one either. These just aren't the right size. And good thing they're washer stickers, because they do come off. Ooh, I've got some coffee stuff here. Let's see what else I have under here. I buy so many stickers from this lady. She's on Whatnot. And I love her stuff. Now, what I could do is stick a lady on there, a face on there. But I've really been getting into stickers lately, and oh, it's too big for that. This is all sewing stuff, actually, for my sewing journal. That is on my list of things to make, and I just haven't got to it yet. Okay, so we don't want those. That is sewing. There's another sewing. And one more sewing. So those are all sewing stickers. Let's look at these little birds. There's that one. Here's one that's a little bit bigger. What do you guys think of that one on there? Can put a little bird. It's kind of got the right colors. But I don't want them too close because then they just all sort of blend in. So I may put this aside for a little bit. I don't want to hem and haw too much over this. Although that's really pretty, isn't it? I don't know. I don't know, and I don't want to just sit here and try to figure it out. Nope, that's not it either. All right, let me set this aside and I'll come back to this. I may see another sticker that I really like, or, oops, that goes into sewing. I may see something else that I really like and want to put on there. I'm thinking more maybe a face. Although these birds are really cute. Really cute. All right, let's keep going here. And hang on, because I've got some more of her stickers over here. Oh, these are lemons. I don't want lemons. Ah, here we go. This is more what I was thinking. Look at her. Now, I love her. Okay. Let's see what else we have, just in case. No, we don't want a backwards girl. Oh, I like her real well, too. But I really like her, so I'm going to go around real quick and fussy cut the edges. Now, I just did a shorts video in how to take the shine out of these stickers, and that is with using fixative. But I don't have time to do that right now, and once I get it down, I might be able to, mask it off around the sticker and then spray it. What it does is it dulls the shine of the parts on the inside that are still shiny, because I'm cutting off this edging. I hate these edges on here. So we'll just go around real quick. And I actually get to fussy cutting when I get real close like this. Cut right up to the image. Around here, around the plants, that's a little harder to do because it's so, fluffy. But when I get around the more solid edges, and I don't worry, you've got little pieces of the hair that kind of stick out. I don't try to cut around that. If you're going to leave the sticker with the border on it, you'll see those. But it's more important to me to have those clear borders cut off than it is to have the wispy little hair pieces on the side, because I just don't like those borders. Did I say recently that I don't like the borders on the clear stickers? There we go. And this part is kind of matte. It's not super shiny, but come on, there we go. There. How about that, you guys? I'll go back and glue all of these. And then if these fringe things don't stay down, I'll glue them down a little bit. But how about that for a pocket? I love it. I love it. Now, what about this pocket? Oops. what about let's go around and ink it first. Now, let's see, what do we want to do with this one? I'm thinking maybe I want to take a little bit of the traveling pants fabric, or maybe this, and go from underneath and just put it on there so that it sticks up. What do you guys think? I think I kind of like it. Let's decide what else we're going to do with this. How about one of these great big old oh, I know what I have. Let's look through here real quick. I've got these old keys and locks. Oh, that doesn't go real well on there. And neither does that one. Okay, so much for that idea. How about this came in a kit of labels, but this is more like a ticket. And the thing that I like about it, let me show you here real quick. See how these pieces are kind of cut off the edge? So if I put this down like this with a little bit of cheesecloth on that edge, then I could leave this open and stick something in there. So let's see. And again, I'm just looking to kind of do different stuff. I don't want it to look like, you know, the journal that everybody makes. And and it's gorgeous stuff. I look at some of the videos and I think, man, they're doing nice work. But after some point, everybody's stuff starts looking the same. I like that. And I don't want my stuff to look like everybody else's. I'm funny that way. I was the same way when I was making jewelry. I'm really not doing that much anymore, but I was the same. I had the same feelings there. And that I didn't want to look like everybody else. And I would go to shows, art fairs, craft fairs, shows, and people would tell me that. They would come into my booth and say, gosh, your stuff is so different. It doesn't look like all the other stuff. Thank you. That was my goal. So, and it was a compliment. I mean, people were very complimentary of that. Now, I need to let that dry for a minute before I try to put it down on here, or it's just going to stick. Take the glue off of there. So we'll put that there, and then I will put, I don't think we need it quite this wide. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to rip it or if I'm going to have to cut it. I think I'm going to have to cut it. Sometimes on these real little thin strips, it just doesn't want to tear. That's all right, because this is going to go on the back of the piece. All right, let's put down, and I'm using art glitter glue rather than Fabri-Tac, and I'm not sure why necessarily, other than it does work. Doesn't smell as bad as Fabri-Tac. Come on. Ah, didn't mean to do that. Okay, so let's yep, that's starting to stick a little. I'm going to let that dry. All right, so there's that coming out the top. And that won't interfere. You'll still be able to put, something in the pocket. Hang on, I'm going to put the heat gun on this for just a quick second. And I've got a piece of that clear border that I cut off. I've got a piece of it stuck in there. All right, there we go. So let's go around here. And there we go. Now this is open, so if I have and I know I do in here somewhere, if I have there's some little butterflies, that's actually a sticker, so I probably won't use that, but although I could put it on some paper and stick that in. It's not quite big enough either. Let's see, what do I have in here? There we go. There's a purchaser's receipt. We can stick that in that little pocket, and then we have the big pocket as well. There. What do you guys think about that? You like? It's grungy. I don't know if it needs something up here. I don't think so. I think it's okay to have a little blank space. All right, that took care of the 3 pockets that we had. How much time? So we only have about 10 minutes left. Let's do a couple of tags or cards. there's a long, tall one like I just did. Now I haven't sewn around these, and I may want to go down and stitch right down that edge. I may do that. Let me look real quick here at the rub-ons that I have and see if there's something that would fit nicely on that real skinny tag. Let's see. Not that. So I've got a new filing system for my rub-ons because my other one was falling apart. Let's see, there might be, I don't think we'll find anything small enough for that. Maybe like just the dandelion. That might be just the ticket. Let's try that. Let's see if the dandelion works. Once again, once you find something that looks like it might work, it's like, why keep searching? And y'all know that I just love these rub-ons. They're so easy and they're so wonderful. Let's see, I think we want it to go right there. All right. Put this away before I lose it. I'm getting better about putting stuff away before I lose it. Now that one's got, oh, it's green underneath. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Put down this dandelion. Oops. Oh, look at that. Isn't that sweet? I love it. Absolutely love it. Now, what do we want to do at the top of this? How about an eyelet with maybe some of that traveling pants fabric as a topper? Let's see. You know, the funny thing about this, you guys, if I try to hold the just the crocodile up to the card, I can never get it in the middle. I'm off by a little bit one way or the other. But if I draw a hole on it first, I go over a little bit, then I can get in the middle. Isn't that funny? I don't have a lot of good spatial visibility, I guess you would say, where I can really, discern how things are spatially. I just don't. I'm just not good at that. And I guess that's why when my husband used to, let's put a dark green one on here. Yeah, let's do that. My husband, when we were first dating, he would want to go play pool at the bar. Have a couple beers, play some pool. Didn't clamp down quite right, but it won't matter. And you won't even see it once we get that. Once we get that through there. So he wanted to go play pool all the time, and I was so horrible at playing pool. And of course, just being, newly dating and thinking, wow, this guy's pretty cool. I might like to keep him around. I wanted to go and do what he wanted to do. Well, I was so horrible at it, and it's because I can't judge like angles and spatial stuff. My brain just doesn't want to do it. And so eventually we stopped going to play pool. I kind of convinced him that I really didn't enjoy it. Oops, I want to go this way. I just didn't enjoy it. And so we stopped going. We started doing other things instead. We did a lot of walking. It's so funny because my husband and I were talking the other day. We've been married for 36 years, so we've been married a long time. And then, of course, we were together a couple of years before that. So we've been together a long time, and we were talking the other day about how we were reminiscing back to the early days of our courtship, and how when we were first together, some of the best times that we had together were when he would come home from work. We would just go and lay on the bed and talk for hours, and just lay there and talk and talk and talk about everything. How we were gonna save the world. We don't do that anymore. Well, neither one of us works anymore, but once your life gets going and you're married and the kids got school activities, you kind of forget about that kind of stuff. There. Look at that one. All right. I think that brings us to about an hour, so we probably want to wrap it up. So let's look at the things that we did. First, I did this one on my own. And then we did this little pocket with the bicycle. I love that. And then we did these two pockets. And I am going to sew down there. I'm not going to sew on that one. I may sew around here. And then we had this piece out of the box, and it already had the lace and the stitching on it. So put a rub on and just a tag topper on that one. And those are the 2, 4, 5 pieces of ephemera we now have for the Traveling Pants journal. So like I said, if you haven't looked at the videos for the Traveling Pants journals, please do go give them a look. It's a lot of fun, and I'm so excited to be able to use that pair of pants that I loved so much. All right, everybody, I'm going to go ahead and end this video, clean up my mess. And if you liked this video, please consider giving me a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel so you're notified when new videos come out. All right, everybody, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.